friends, welcome back to Authentically Blonde. I'm Casey.
I'm Lexi.
And this is Corey. This is my twin brother. I've talked about him before. We're just adding him on as part of a little sports week. But before we get started, if you're new to our channel, please be sure to hit the subscribe button. So Corey, do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, first of all, it's a pleasure to be in Nampa, and it's a pleasure to be on the vlog. Yeah, I'm her twin.
Can you tell?
Yeah, I go to Gonzaga, I play basketball, and I'm Casey's twin, and I love it.
How long have you been at Gonzaga?
So I'll be a senior, just like Casey.
So how did you pick Gonzaga? Like, what was important to you? Like, help us get to know you a little. Help us get to know you a little better.
Well, I mean, family's really important to me, so being close to home was something that I really wanted to make sure that I did. And Spokane, is just far enough away where I felt like I have my own space to kind of carve my own path, but also close enough to home where Casey and my parents and anybody who wanted to could hop in the car and come watch me play. And then, I mean, I don't know how many of you guys have been to Spokane before, but the community there is great and they love Gonzaga basketball. So that was really hard to pass up.
And I'm just gonna whatever really quick, but he literally is so good at basketball. I'm flexing on him right now because I know he won't. So Gonzaga basketball was before the whole quarantine situation, was ranked #1 in the country and was supposed to win. So it's kind of really sad, but I'm flexing about him because he's super cool and yeah.
Thanks. Appreciate that.
What can I say? What's a twin for?
Alright, Corey, why don't you tell us about one of your favorite basketball memories, moments, top game, I don't know.
Experience.
Yeah, well, the one that comes to my mind is we played a tournament in Maui my sophomore year.
That'd be
and
hard
we
to
won.
beat.
Yeah, we won.
Okay.
So I mean, it was on national television, and we stayed in this resort and got to hang out on the beach after we won our championship game, and it's pretty hard to beat that,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
No, and it was so fun because family got to go and who doesn't love a trip to Hawaii, It's just the perks are just unbelievable, I'd say. So Corey just decided recently to return back. So he's graduated. He graduated early, this little smarty pants. But he was returning for his senior year instead of going into the NBA, which he was pretty far along in the process before deciding. So maybe do you want to talk about that whole decision, if there was any anxiety, just kind of talk us through.
Yeah, and there's absolutely anxiety that goes along with that. It was a big life choice, and with any big life choice, you kind of don't know what's going to happen in the future, and especially with the coronavirus and shutting our seasons down, we don't really know how our season's going to look next year. I mean, you guys have your seasons pushed until spring, and we share that kind of heartache and that anxiety as well, so I really didn't know what was best for me up until kind of the very last minute, but ultimately I felt like the best place for me, to work on my game and become a better player, but also just to have the most fun and be my happiest was at Gonzaga. And my own happiness was really important to that, and I could have, started my professional career, and that's really exciting, but, hopefully with a good year this year, on the court, that'll still be there 365 days from now.
Totally. So, I don't know if you guys are fully aware, but back in the day, back in my seasoned life, I too was a basketball player, one might say.
Can you imagine?
Imagine it now.
I'm like, you know what? I was. And the amount of times I've beaten him in horse is just too many to count. Anyways, I'm just gonna share some fun basketball memories I have with Corey because
why not?
Why not? One of my favorites, actually it's not my favorite, it's actually one of my least favorites, but it's just one that's stuck in my mind.
Where's this going?
Are you alright?
I'm actually it's been really hard. So we have a basketball court in our backyard, and I remember this was kind of the first time I realized, trying to play one-on-one with Corey or our older brother, those days are over. I am much too small and it's just not happening anymore. Because I was, playing defense, getting my slides in, whatever, defensive slides, cutting him off, sending him towards the end line, the defensive
baseline,
the baseline. Anyways, Corey charges me fully, and I fly onto the cement, hurt myself, cry, go inside. My mom and dad say, "Casey, I'm sorry, but he's just 7 times bigger than you. That's just what's gonna happen."
So bullying?
It was definitely bullying.
Yeah.
I want to say I'm sorry, but I think I got a basket, so I'm not really that sorry.
False
But
light.
like you
False light.
fouled me.
Yeah, at all costs.
I took a charge. I took one. Anyways, that's one story. I also, this was one of like the best sister full circle story moments of my life. I'm probably gonna get emotional. I'm very emotional. But
Obviously.
But I remember the first time I flew to Spokane to watch Corey play our freshman year. He started as a freshman at this Division I school, and I remember watching they play like this, like, how would you describe it before the game? Like the video.
Like the hype video?
Yeah, it's like they play this video where it's just like smoke and them all flexing and yelling, and it's just whatever. And I remember getting chills, which I have right now, honestly, thinking about it. And then they did 24 freshmen from Edmonds, Washington, 6'7".
You should be an announcer.
I'm like
pretty
a
good.
6'7" forward from Edmonds, Washington, number 24. Corey Kispert. And Corey's all, yeah. It goes and high fives everyone. And I just start sobbing because I'm like, my brother, my twin. Yeah, and just seeing all the hard work he's put into it, all the anxiety that went through recruiting, all of everything, and seeing that moment freshman year, the first game I've ever seen him play in college, that was just, oh my gosh, that was just a lot for me.
I can imagine.
So proud.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm
you
like,
need a break.
Get some water.
Get her water.
All right, so believe it or not, Corey's actually an AV stan. He has watched a lot of Authentically Blonde vlogs, and I don't know, do you have a favorite?
Yeah, well, first of all, big stan. Big stan. Subscribed pretty much the first week it was out.
He was one of the first subscribers.
It's not fake.
And my favorite was your interview with Spencer Crandall. He was really vulnerable and he was relatable. Seemed like a really cool guy.
Yeah.
And I listen to his music now. So that was kind of a little plug that Authentically Blonde put into my life.
Full circle.
It's full circle now. So Spencer, shout out to you.
That's cool that he, like, his story and him opening up was something that touched other people too. Like, that's awesome.
Did Spencer play basketball?
I think he said football,
Football.
right?
Classic.
Classic.
Maybe he did. Spencer, if you're watching this,
Comment.
please let us know.
Yeah, let us know if you played basketball.
So let's just kind of jump into this. So our last episode, we talked about body image in sports, and
Obviously.
Lexi and I are girls, and so we kind of talked from
Obviously.
I hope it's obvious. Obviously, talked about from the girls' perspective, and so, but we did mention that we do know that guys deal with some sort of body image or standards within sports as well, but what a perfect opportunity to ask someone. So, Corey, have you, I don't really know how to say this, have you ever dealt with or felt any pressure to look a certain way, eat a certain way, work out a certain way to fit a standard or anything?
Well, I mean, it's not so much like a standard. Like, I mean, women have it much harder than guys do, and that's not really a secret. They see magazines, they see pictures. Instagram's full of people who look a certain way for women, and it's not really the same for guys, but it's more for me, it's just like I feel like I have to constantly be in shape.
Yeah.
So there's really no time for me to kind of take a break and to stop, because hopefully in the future, like, my profession is like athleticism,
To be-
an athlete. So to be an athlete is basically like what I hope to do for a living. So being in shape all the time, and that comes with looking a certain way and feeling a certain
Yeah.
way. There's a lot of pressure to that, and if you kind of slip a little bit, you feel like you're not doing your job very well, and that can be tough in multiple different ways.
Right.
Do you ever feel like going throughout your day that there's ever moments where you're like, I can't do this anymore. I want to do I want to freaking eat a whole pizza right now, but I have to go lift weights for 3 hours or
Every
something
day
like
there's a moment. Every single day.
So we're human.
Yeah, we are all human. No matter how fun it looks to play where I play, every day is not fun, and that's the hard part. That's the part about athletics that you got to get used to. And hopefully there's more good than bad, and in my case there is. So it's really easy to embrace.
All right, so obviously there's a ton of pressure on you all the time to perform your best, be at your best, just any games, practices, all the time. So do you feel like you struggle with anxieties like before games? How do you kind of just set your mentality for the day or for the game or anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, it kind of goes both ways in that it's on the court and it's off the court too. So obviously you want to perform your best when you're playing on the court. It's a high pressure situation.
Obviously.
I'm like,
And,
you want to play
yeah,
the worst.
I don't want to
That's
play
your
good.
goal.
Well, yeah,
Your goal is to suck.
The point is like we play for a good team and we're expected to win, and so going onto the court and putting your best foot forward is what's expected of you. It's kind of your job. So there's a ton of pressure and anxiety that goes along with that, and the more games you play and the more experience you get under your belt, the easier it gets. But then off the court too, like no matter where you are, what you're doing, like you're always wearing the jersey. You know, people are always watching you and judging you by what you do. So, you know, if you mess up at a party or you make a wrong choice with your friends and you hurt somebody, like that's reflective of you as a player too. So
Or you post something, or you
yeah, you know, social
caught
media, all of
somewhere,
it.
yeah.
Caught somewhere doing something stupid. It reflects on you as a player. And there's media, there's journalism, there's social media that tracks that kind of stuff. And so you kind of have to be on all the time.
Yeah.
And it's super exhausting. So having to deal with that is probably been the hardest thing to kind of adjust to now that I've been playing here for so long.
How do you balance? So whenever I come and visit him in Spokane, it's like, I'm not kidding, it's like a little paparazzi. Like I kind of feel like what is happening right now, because he's always getting, like I turn over and someone's like Snapchatting a video of him, or there's like little cute kids following him around in the mall or whatever. And how do you deal with that? Like you said, there's a lot of pressure to be on all the time. Like what if you're not on? Because
What if you're having a bad day?
what if you're having a
like-
bad day? Like what do you do?
Yeah, I mean, it's just part of the job, good and bad. And people understand that you're human for the most part. And just being kind of real and authentic with them. Authentically Burnett with them is always good. And if you're having a bad day, people understand, and you can tell them that. And you know, and if they do kind of look at you sideways for having a bad day, you know that they're not worth kind of stressing over.
Yeah.
So people that you want in your life, people that are important to you, are going to realize that you have bad days, and everybody else just doesn't really matter.
Forget the haters.
Facts. Facts.
Big facts.
Big facts.
So obviously you're not going to win all the time. You're going to lose games. So how do you feel like you bounce back from that? Just like a mentality shift or anything?
And like also not only lose, like you're gonna have games where you suck.
Yeah.
Like I feel, I'm just gonna say it. Like
Yeah.
you're gonna have games where you dribble the ball off your foot.
Yeah, and the games where you suck and win are almost worse than the games that you do well and lose. You know, because you just feel
That's deep.
personally
Whoa.
like you just, even though your team won, you're like, okay, I feel like I just kind of blended in. Like I didn't really
Yeah.
do anything special, and I was just one of the people out there running around. But part of what I really had to adjust to playing was untying my identity to the way I played on the court. And you know, if you have a bad game, you feel like a bad person. You feel like you're not good enough for your friends or your family, or you let people down. That's a big one for me. Is like
Yeah.
if
Well, because and your whole community
Yeah.
is like so centered around.
yeah, like if your friends and family come and watch you play, they spend all this time and money to do that, and you don't play good or you let them down, it's pretty disappointing in my eyes. So
Yeah.
having to detach that is something that it took me a long time to learn. But once I ended up figuring it out, it freed so much stuff open for me. Just being able to be myself, no matter if I did well or not, and in result, like I play better because
Yeah.
I feel like there's this weight off my shoulders,
Yeah.
and I really don't care, and I
can have fun.
I can have fun and enjoy the game.
You know,
and ball is
because
life.
ball's life.
Right? Yeah. Well, I know a big part of your show is advice to your younger self, and I think that would be, if I had to center it down to one thing, would be young Corey, if you're watching. Detach yourself from basketball. Like, you are not the sport you play. You know, it's what you do, it's not who you are. And that's an important thing for all athletes and people out there, you know, whether it's, you know, being a mother or a father, or the job that you work at, you know, being a friend or a boyfriend or a girlfriend. Like, that's not who you are. It's just something that you do. And
That's
making
good
sure
advice.
you understand that and can balance that correctly is really important.
So, like, do you have any goals right now? Like, what are your top life goals right now at this point in your
goals.
life?
Life
I know,
goals.
really
Life.
just...
We're just really hitting it. with
Yeah,
you right
well,
now.
I mean, I checked, Casey mentioned it earlier, but I checked a big mark by graduating this year. That was really important to me, kind of get my degree and kind of check that off the list. But now, pretty much for the next year, it's going to be focused pretty much on basketball. Ball will really be life. And
Literally.
I want to play in the NBA, and a year from now, hopefully you'll be watching me in some shape or some form on an NBA team.
I'm just gonna say hopefully it is the Blazers or the Jazz, because that's the closest
Or
teams here.
Texas.
You know what?
Like,
Or
in
San
Texas.
Antonio,
Yeah.
because that's where I'm living. True.
San
Okay.
Antonio.
Why not?
No pressure.
No pressure. If you want your twin in your life.
All right.
Okay.
That was a little much.
Okay, that was not cool. That was not cool. So I just think it's really cool to hear something like that coming from Corey, who has always had a dream to play in the NBA. Always, 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 forever. Literally since day zero. We talked about it. I've seen him practice. I've seen him work for it. I've seen him talk about it, whatever. And this is like such a great testimony, I feel like, for all these people, all of you guys, all of us. I'm still learning from watching Corey that no goal is too big, no dream is too lofty. He is about to literally achieve a goal that he has had for 21 years in life. And I think that is so cool and such a good example and testimony that your dreams aren't too lofty. Like, go for it. If you want to be a 4.0 student, study, work hard, be that 4.0 student. If you want to play in the NBA, practice every day. Literally practice every day. You never know what's gonna happen.
Okay, well, we just want to thank Corey for being on our vlog today. It's really awesome to hear what he has to say and just share with us things that he's been through and everywhere that he's going. And we're just so excited for him and see where life takes him. So thank you for being on our vlog.
Yeah, and thanks for having me. This was super fun, and it added to my little visit here in Nampa. I have the full experience now. And to you watching, if you don't like, comment, and subscribe on this video, I'll be authentically pissed. So make sure you do that.
You heard it here, folks.
Heard it here. Thanks, guys.